have a practice where I have to do what I'm afraid of. You have to do what scares you the most. Because this is the thing, I could have a nice, comfy, cozy little, keep doing the same old thing, and I'm bored to tears. I can't be bored. I always push it, because I'm living in free play land. Look, I'm from Flint, Michigan. I'm an old football player. I should be in jail. Everyone telling their stories is how the world gets changed.
That's right. And so speaking of that, is that what prompted you recently to share a personal experience in wake of the big scandals going on in Hollywood?
That was exactly why I wanted to do it, because I said, you know what, especially in masculine culture, is don't talk. And that's the way things get perpetuated. And I had to support these ladies. I did. In fact, I actually backed out because I didn't want anything I did to become part of the story. I wanted to show that, these ladies been telling the truth. They're telling the truth, and they couldn't say something because they were afraid and it kept them in fear. And the thing is, I did the same thing.
30 women, including some of Hollywood's biggest stars, now accusing movie mogul Harvey Weinstein of sexual harassment, assault, and rape. For years, Weinstein's despicable actions were a dirty secret among Hollywood A-listers who openly joked about it.
Oh, please. I'm not afraid of anyone in show business. I turned down intercourse with Harvey Weinstein on no less than 3 occasions out of 5.
Congratulations, you 5 ladies no longer have to pretend to be attracted to Harvey Weinstein.
Wow. It seems insiders knew what was going on, or at least heard whispers about Weinstein's behavior, but nothing came of it. A 2015 NYPD sting operation even had the producer on tape harassing a model he admits to groping the day before.
I'm telling you right now.
What do we have to do here?
Nothing. I'm going to take a shower. You sit there and have a drink. Water.
I don't drink. Can I stay on the bar?
No, you must come here now.
No.
Please.
No, I don't want to.
I'm not doing anything with you. Now you're embarrassing me.
I'm sorry. I
no,
cannot.
Come in
No,
here.
yesterday was a kind of aggressive for me. I need to know a person to
I
be
won't
touched.
do a thing.
I don't want
Do a thing, please. I swear I won't. Just sit with me. Don't embarrass me in the hotel. I'm here all the time.
I
Sit
know,
with me.
but
I
I don't
promise.
want to.
Please sit there. Please. 1 minute.
No,
I ask
I can't.
you. Go to the bathroom.
Please, I don't want to do something I don't want
Go
to.
to the bathroom. Come here. Listen to me.
I want to go downstairs.
I'm not going to do anything. You'll never see me again after this. Okay? That's it. If you embarrass me in this hotel,
I'm not
stay.
embarrassing you. It's just that I don't feel comfortable.
I mean, don't have a fight with me in the
It's not
hallway.
nice.
Please, I'm not going to do anything. I swear, my children. Please come in. On everything. I'm a famous guy.
I'm feeling very uncomfortable right
Please
now.
come in now. And 1 minute. And if you want to leave, when the guy comes with my
Why
jacket, you can
yesterday
go.
you touched my breast?
Oh, please, I'm sorry. Just come on. I'm used to that. Come on.
Are you used
Please.
to that?
Yes, come in. Because
No, but I'm not used to
I
that.
won't do it again. Come on. Sit here. Sit here for a minute, please.
No, I don't want
If
to.
you do this now, you will embarrass me. But no. Like, never call me again. Okay? I'm sorry. I promise you I won't do anything.
I know, but yesterday was too
The guy
much
is
for
coming.
me.
I will never do another thing to you. 5 minutes. Don't ruin your friendship with me for 5 minutes.
I know, but it's kind of like, it's too much for me. I can't.
Please, you're making a big scene here.
No,
Please.
but I want to leave.
Okay, goodbye.
The model details her alleged experience with the movie mogul, claiming he threatened her career over her sexual orientation. Quote, he said to me that if I was gay, I'd never get the role of a straight woman or make it as an actress in Hollywood. The 25-year-old, who has publicly said she is, quote, sexually fluid, claims that a few years after that initial conversation, she was invited to Weinstein's hotel room for a meeting, where he allegedly asked her to kiss another woman in front of him. When DeLevine said she had to leave, she claims he walked her to the door and tried to kiss her on the lips.
Guys, I'm not doing okay.
You're not?
I'm trying. I gotta get help, guys. You know what? We all make mistakes. Second chance, I hope. Okay?
Sexual assault is a crime. It is a crime. You cannot violate a person's personal boundaries.
Terry Crews, the former NFL linebacker turned actor, adding his voice to the tidal wave of people sharing their claims of sexual assault in Hollywood.
And people say, well, man, you should just laugh it off. You should just forget it. No, I'm not going to forget it.
Crews is known for his comedic macho roles on the hit TV show Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I just happen to be a great person who's naturally beloved by all.
Or the shirtless, boisterous Old Spice pitchman.
You smell so man
manly scientists who want to study your manliness.
But he says his tough guy persona didn't prevent him from becoming the victim of a powerful man.
I was sexually assaulted by Adam Bennett, who was the head of the motion picture department at William Morris Endeavor.
In February of 2016, Cruz says he and the Hollywood super agent Adam Bennett were at the same party. Bennett has represented some of Hollywood's biggest names: Liam Hemsworth, Emma Stone, Sylvester Stallone, Eddie Murphy, and Adam Sandler.
You're talking about a very, very powerful man who has access to studio heads. What they do affects every part of the business, from producers, writers, actors. They own finance companies, the whole thing.
And did you know him before the party?
And I did not know him. I heard of him. We had never, ever even had a conversation, okay? So I just heard, and actually, I was actually looking forward to meeting him.
But instead of a professional meet and greet, Cruz claims Bennett leered at him from across the room.
The first time I ever actually had an interaction with him was at this event. And I'm looking at him, and he's basically staring at me, and he's sticking his tongue out, and it's just overtly sexual kind of tongue moves. And I'm sitting there like, it's a party, it's packed, the whole thing, and I'm looking like, is this a joke? I mean, I don't understand. It was actually so bizarre. And he keeps coming over to me. He comes over to me, I stick my hand out, and he literally takes his hand and puts it and squeezes my genitals. And I'm jump back like, hey. And he's like, and he's still licking his tongue out and all this stuff. And I go, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then he comes back again. And he just won't stop. And then I really got forceful. Pushed him back. He bumps into all the other party goers, the whole thing, and he starts giggling and laughing. And let me tell you, Mike, I have never felt more emasculated, more objectified.
So you didn't think anybody would believe you if you came forward?
Last year, no. Actually, I let it go. Actually, I put it in the back of my head, and I understood why women everywhere had to let it go. But let me tell you, when the Weinstein thing started happening, I got PTSD. I was going, oh my God, this exact thing happened to me. A lot of times people go, well, why didn't you come forward sooner? But this is the thing, when a person of power breaks that boundary and violates that boundary, you're a prisoner of war.
According to Cruz, the alleged groping happened in front of his wife, Rebecca King Cruz. She confirmed her husband's account to ABC News.
So she's witnessing the entire thing.
She's witnessing the whole thing. And we're just, I can't even begin to describe to you how bizarre this is. It's so bizarre. I wake up every morning like, is this a bad dream? Does this really happen?
Because a lot of people will look and they'll go, here he is, former NFL linebacker, 6'3", 240 pounds, just muscles everywhere. How could he be assaulted?
That plays into the total stereotype of black men, that we have to be violent.
Cruz said his wife's calming influence prevented the incident from escalating.
I felt nothing but rage, Mike. But my wife prepared me. She said, Terry, you cannot handle these kind of things with violence. You can't hit back, because if you hit people and if you do this stuff, you're going to be under the jail.
I was just standing next to him, just kind of halfway listening to the conversation, just looking around, and all of a sudden I saw him like back up and shove the guy.
Yeah.
And he just starts swearing at him, and he's like, what the,
Yeah.
And I was like, what happened? Because, when you're the plus one, you're just standing around, looking around.
And they're all talking, doing this.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's very crowded. I mean, you're this close to people, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just standing there. I'm like, my husband's here, I'm here. And all of a sudden he like backs up and rears at the guy, and I was like, oh my God. And then he grabs my hand. He's like, dude, what's your problem? And I saw the guy look right at him like, hey, laughing, like he was inebriated or high or something.
Yeah. Do you think that if there's, there should be some new sweep of Hollywood, that if there's things like that in their contracts, they shouldn't be in the position they're in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This
history.
This is the thing about criminal behavior, right? There's always a loophole for the rich and famous.
Yeah.
It's sad but true.
And why did you decide to file the police report today?
Oh, because people have to be held accountable.
No, I understand that. Are you planning to file a lawsuit as well?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep. We're gonna go all the way.
For any disclosed amount?
Oh, no, I don't know. I got to talk to my attorneys about all that stuff.
Let me just ask, you referenced the situation before, but you never named names. Can you tell us who it is?
No, not right now.
Was it Adam Bennett?
At 11, I didn't know it was improper. It just didn't make any sense to me.
But Evan may not be the only one. The manager also allegedly abused the late Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. Feldman told us it didn't end there.
When I look back at a picture of when I was 15 years old and I was surrounded by 5 men, and every one of those men in that photograph is a pedophile, it's a pretty big problem. I was molested, and I said yes. I allowed it to happen, but I was a child.
I was told that this is everyday business, and he made me feel like I have to do that in order to get any job. He was just saying this was common in the industry. He said, oh, if you have sex with me, then we'll go to SeaWorld the next day.
What happens is with actors, you're in a vulnerable situation. You're in a vulnerable place, you're trying to get a job, and there's people who, and it's not just actors, it's any men in positions of power who could use that power to abuse it. And, when I was
looking for a job?
When I was a young actor, yeah, I was asked to go to a hotel room of a director. It was a famous director, and I didn't think anything weird by it because I never think it ever happened to me. And so I went, and he was in his robe. I still didn't think it was weird. Well, he probably just came out of the shower or whatever. And then he asked me to do, to do the scene and then crawl on my belly around it. And then it got to a weird place. And I just, when this stuff started coming out with Harvey Weinstein, I did remember that feeling of disgust and
did you reveal
humiliation. I didn't, because he's passed away, and I feel like if he can't defend himself, I feel weird about saying his name. But he was a famous director who worked with, he did big movies, and so. But I remember that humiliation, and I didn't tell anybody. And it's interesting because when I've seen online like Rob Schneider. I don't believe anyone would sexually harass Rob Schneider. He's not good looking enough. And so, and that's what's not, so now I understand.
Somebody said that?
Yes, not just several people said that. But I get why women, why they wouldn't want to talk about it. If they say that to me, about me, imagine other women, it's humiliating. Why would you want to admit this happened and that you were in this situation?
Yeah, I would say that I'm pretty shocked, and I would say a little sickened by it. But I feel that there seems to be a huge paradigm shift, which is necessary, not only in this business, but all over the world in different industries. And it's essential and important.
Yeah, I think that a cultural change will happen, and it will happen very quickly. I am really deeply saddened and very surprised. I never worked with Kevin, but I'd always admired him as an actor. I never worked with Harvey because he was never in my orbit, out of choice. Right. So, it's a time to really clean up its act, and it will permeate. It will permeate other industries, I think. It's just, it's just the beginning.
Hollywood really created a shock wave that resonates into society, and that I think is very positive because those things need to stop, obviously.
I think it's happened to more women than you would think, and some men, yeah.
I've been very surprised. I think every day that something else comes out, I think you're just kind of more and more shocked and overwhelmed that this has happened and that so many people have fallen victim to this. I really hope that this is the beginning of something different and an era where, the consciousness of those kinds of people changes.
I think there was knowledge amongst a certain group of people, mostly who did business with Harvey Weinstein. There are countless women who understood that that's what happened, and there were many people who said, well, that's just Harvey being Harvey.
How serious is it? Is it about one
person, one man, or is it a culture?
You and I, and even the likes of the people on the Turner Classic Movies, understand that the idea of the casting couch that existed in Hollywood is the part of both myth and concrete reality. Any place there's a boss with underlings in any corporation or any industry, you have a type of sexual politics that goes on that can slide in between appropriate ethics and decorum to inappropriate behavior to the point of harassment and sexual predatory behavior.
Well, I mean, I think people understand that, but the larger question is there a culture of complicity in Hollywood where women are afraid to speak up because they'll be blacklisted, men are afraid to speak up out of the same fear, or they just think, well, this is the way the system works?
I think there are people that say, hey, this is how it works, pure and simple, and this is why I got into it, and this is why I have power. This is how it works, and you have to understand that. That does not carry the day. Complicity. People who know, well, look, this is how we do business, and that's what it's got to be done. I'm sorry it's like that. So beware. That's also present, without a doubt, but it does not carry the day. There's also people that were afraid to speak out, who were victims, that did not go forward, that signed, negotiated settlement deals of which a non-disclosure agreement was part and parcel to it. That also does not carry the day. So the dam has burst here in a big way. And it is not just the halls of places like Harvey Weinstein's office where this was standard operating procedure. And it is criminal, and it is cause for termination. It's also happening in every other corner of not just my industry, but yours and throughout all of America.
Do you think this is a kind of tipping point?
Well, I think it absolutely is, in which everybody is asking women, what do I put up with and when do I talk about? And men saying, I think we have to live by a code of ethics that we need to think and put down on paper. Don't be surprised if there's going to be a sign in front of every one of the studio gates that will say all people entering this studio will obey this code of ethics or they will be escorted from the premises. And that will all be about sexual harassment and sexual predatory behavior.
Not just Hollywood. Yeah, not just Hollywood. I'm hopeful that changes, or it seems like changes are being made. The guilds are talking about, doing different things, and you can't legislate away predatory behavior. Everybody's eyes are open right now. I hope that they remain open. It's the hot story right now, but what's going to happen 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now? So we'll see, but I guess even from the time I started, there was you hear about the casting couch. I haven't seen it. I mean, nobody's ever approached me, but I even went back and thought about, like meetings I had in someone's hotel room. That was kind of a normal thing, but there's really no need for it. There's no reason for it. And again, like you can't legislate it all the way, but needless to say, the awareness is there now, and we'll see how it goes moving forward.